A solitary figure goes warily through the dark autumn woodlands, where the sound of dry leaves crackling underfoot and the smell of dirt is carried on a chilly breeze. The environment is perfect for coming across wild pigs, who are animals that are notorious for their destructive activity and their ability to persevere. As he moves over the landscape, the hunter maintains a calm and steady pace while simultaneously searching the area for any indications of the herd. Without any prior warning, a herd of wild pigs suddenly materializes from the underbrush and dashes across the slope of the hill in a chaotic manner. Immediately, in response, the hunter takes rapid action, carefully pointing the firearm and then immediately firing it. One of the animals is injured. However, the task is not even close to being finished. Both the size of the group and the difficulty of the task remain unchanged. The hunter exhibits both precision and patience as he follows the herd through the fields and forests with great care. Although there are certain animals that make an effort to conceal themselves in the vegetation, the scope reveals them when they move. Both the competence and the significant responsibility that come with controlling the animal population are reflected in the fact that every shot is measured and every decision is deliberate. Indicative of the herd's continuous proximity is the presence of dogs that have been trained. The hunter's movements between trees are causing the tension to increase. On the scene is a huge pig. It is brought down by a single shot that is decisive. The equilibrium between taking action and exercising restraint is becoming more and more apparent with each new experience. Later on, the approach is altered. The task is transformed into a large-scale management activity when it is viewed from an aerial vantage point through the cockpit of a helicopter. Whole herds can be seen traversing the expansive area, which includes both wide fields and impenetrable thickets. When viewed from this angle, population monitoring takes on a more dynamic quality, which enables a wider range of coverage and more prompt intervention. There are a number of states in the United States that make use of this technique, which is known as airborne feral hog hunting, in order to control their wildlife populations. These states include Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Florida. There are persistent problems in these areas as a result of the presence of feral hogs, whose populations are expanding at a rapid rate and causing severe damage. In the United States, the economic toll of feral hogs is anticipated to be between $1.50 and $2.50 billion a year, as stated in a report that was published in 2023 by the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. Just in the state of Texas, annual losses might reach up to about $400 million. In general, the cost of aerial hunting services can range anywhere from $500 to $2,000 each flying hour, depending on the operator. Despite the fact that it is expensive, this strategy is responsible for the elimination of 15 to 20% of the feral hogs that are found in Texas each year. This translates to tens of thousands of animals each year. The impact, however, is frequently just transient. According to the findings of a study conducted by Auburn University in 2024, although aerial hunting has the potential to lower hog populations in a certain area by as much as 50%, these numbers have a tendency to return within 6 to 12 months if additional control strategies are not used. It was projected that airborne wildlife management programs in Oklahoma removed around 10,000 hogs annually between the years 2020 and 2023. Nevertheless, this effort only resulted in a reduction of approximately 10% in the regional population. The magnitude of the problem and the constraints that are imposed by aerial control when it is utilized in isolation are demonstrated by these figures. Additionally, serving as a tool for management, aerial hunting has also developed into a commercial activity in recent years. There are a number of firms in Texas, including Hellebaken and Cedar Ridge Aviation, that provide guided aerial hunts. These hunts are popular among both amateur and professional hunters. It is possible that a trip that lasts between 2 and 3 hours may bring in between $5,000 and $10,000 in revenue. Small-scale farmers, on the other hand, are typically unable to afford such services since they rely on aid from the state or the federal government. Every year, the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, allocates around $20 million to programs that control feral hogs, with a portion of that amount being designated for aerial operations. Trapping, on the other hand, continues to be the most extensively employed approach, being incorporated into approximately 60% to 70% of control efforts across the country. It is generally agreed that this procedure is safer and more humanitarian, as it reduces the risk to non-target species as well as to human participants. Many wildlife scientists, private landowners, and agricultural stakeholders increasingly recognize the effectiveness of airborne feral hog hunting when it is employed as part of a broader, integrated wildlife management strategy. This method, which involves the use of helicopters or other aerial platforms to locate and cull invasive hog populations, has shown results in areas where traditional ground-based control efforts have proven insufficient. Despite its demonstrated success in curbing fast-growing populations, the practice remains the subject of ongoing public debate and professional discourse, particularly concerning its ethical implications and potential long-term ecological effects. Critics of aerial hunting, most notably animal welfare advocates and certain environmental organizations, often express concerns that such aggressive tactics can be perceived as extreme or inhumane. They argue that relying heavily on this method may sidestep deeper issues, such as habitat imbalances, lack of natural predators, and human-induced environmental changes that have allowed feral hog populations to explode in the first place. According to these critics, while aerial hunting may yield immediate results, it does not always contribute to a sustainable or holistic solution in the absence of complementary strategies. Nonetheless, proponents emphasize the urgency of controlling feral hogs, a species considered one of the most destructive invasive animals in North America. With their ability to reproduce rapidly producing multiple litters per year and their indiscriminate feeding habits, feral hogs pose a major threat to biodiversity, agricultural crops, and livestock operations. Supporters argue that when used judiciously, aerial hunting plays a critical role in damage mitigation, helping to protect fragile ecosystems, farmland, and water sources from further degradation. The issue of feral hog control is multifaceted and cannot be addressed by any single approach. Effective management requires a combination of immediate action and long-term planning. Short-term solutions like aerial hunting are often necessary to bring populations under control in hotspot areas, but they must be paired with efforts that target the root causes of the problem. Ongoing research into reintroducing or reinforcing natural predators, such as large carnivores, is being explored with caution. Scientists are also working to develop more targeted chemical control agents that are species-specific to feral hogs and pose minimal risk to other wildlife or the surrounding environment. Additionally, advancements in smart trapping technologies, which use remote monitoring and automatic gates, are improving the efficiency and precision of ground-based control efforts. Controlled hunting, whether carried out on foot, by vehicle, or from the air, plays an essential role within this broader framework. Far from being a standalone tactic, it is increasingly seen as one part of a dynamic, adaptive management plan that integrates scientific research, land stewardship, and regulatory oversight. Each hunting operation is informed by field data, ecological knowledge, and ethical considerations. Decisions made in the field, such as which animals to target, when to engage, and how to reduce suffering, are often the result of careful planning, informed by a deeper awareness of the complexities of managing invasive species. In conclusion, the challenge of feral hog control is emblematic of broader ecological dilemmas: how to balance human intervention with natural processes, how to protect resources without causing unintended harm, and how to act decisively without losing sight of long-term environmental goals. Aerial hunting, while controversial, remains a vital tool in regions facing critical levels of destruction. When employed responsibly and in conjunction with scientific and ethical principles, it can contribute meaningfully to the ongoing effort to restore balance in ecosystems that have been thrown into disarray by one of the most resilient and adaptable invasive species on the planet. It is a reflection of ongoing attempts to protect biodiversity, limit economic damage, and encourage sustainable cohabitation between humans and wildlife. This story displays more than simply a means of control. It showcases such efforts. Communities have the ability to strive towards solutions that are not only effective but also ethically grounded. if they continue to investigate these practices and invest in innovation.